guys, welcome back to another meal prep session with me. If you're new here, my name's Monique. I am a mum of 3 and I have my 4th and final baby on the way. I'm 37 weeks pregnant, so today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be prepping for postpartum. So today we're going to be cooking 3 meals that I can put in the freezer for those early postpartum days, and I'm also going to be preparing 3 slow cooker type dump bags that we can just get out, put in the slow cooker on the day and have a delicious meal at the end of the day. Since postpartum time can be unpredictable, exhausting, all of that, I don't want any of the mental pressure of having to decide what to cook. And I also love having beautiful meals for my family. So yes, we are gonna prepare a couple of meals for the freezer, ready to go for those early days. Now, these would suit anyone. So don't worry if you're not postpartum or don't have a baby on the way or don't even have kids. All of these meals are inspiration for you to meal prep if you want to meal prep in advance, or just cook these meals and have them that night as well. They're also really good meals if you have a friend that's going to be newly postpartum that you want to take a meal as well. So the 3 meals we're actually going to cook today is a Nando's chicken and rice bake, a turmeric chicken and kale soup, and a chili con carne. All of those are freezer friendly, so I'm going to be freezing those for postpartum. And then the 3 other meals that we're going to prep are satay chicken. That one's not for the slow cooker. That's just a marinated one and a sauce that I'm going to be freezing separately so I can defrost and just chuck it in the oven and cook on the day. Add some rice, add some herbs, cook some roti if I want to, or leave that out depending on the day. We're also going to make double batch of slow cooker dump bag for beef stroganoff and also like a cheesy beef Mexican rice. So those 2 are going to be for the slow cooker, and the satay chicken is just going to be one that I can just get out, defrost, chuck in the oven, and it'll be delicious. So let's get started so that I can do it as quick as possible. I've just received my Coles order, so I ordered everything just for this meal prep session. I didn't order anything else for the family. This is just for a meal prep session for this. And I'm going to bring it all in, sort through it, and then we'll start cooking. The kids are at school today and David's at work, so I thought I'd just take this opportunity to meal prep as much as I could between school drop off and school pickup. So let's see if I can get it all done before I have to leave. So because this is just for the meal prep session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort all the ingredients out into their individual meals that I'm going to be making. I'm going to give the veg a bit of a wash, and then I'll start the cooking process. When the 3 meals are cooking, that's when I'll get on to the other meals that I'm going to be putting in the freezer as well. So here's all the groceries set up. I've got to wash the vegetables first. Then I've got everything here that I need to do a slow cooker dump bag for beef stroganoff, for the Mexican beef rice, and also for the satay chicken. I've got all the items that I'm going to use to cook the Nando's chicken and rice bake, besides the veg, obviously. This one's going to be chili con carne, once I also have the veg. And this one here is going to be the chicken and kale soup. I'm going to give my sink a quick clean, and then I'm going to use the Koala Eco Natural Fruit and Veg Wash to just give it a little bit of a wash. So I'm just going to soak the veg for about 10 to 15 minutes while I do a couple of other things. While the veg is soaking, I'm going to cut up some brown onion because a lot of my recipes need diced brown onion today. So I'm going to get that all ready for the recipes, ready to go so that when the veg is all ready and washed, I'm going to cut those up and then we can just start putting all the meals together. So one tip that I do have for you is just have a little bowl near you so that you can put all the scraps in the bowl instead of having to go back and forth to the bin. And it also keeps your space nice and tidy, which is what you want when you're doing big meal prep. So that's the diced onion for the chili con carne, and I'm going to do a couple other recipes now. That is for the beef stroganoff that I'll be putting together later. And that is for the Mexican beef rice. So these have been soaking for about 10 minutes, so I'm just going to grab them out. To save a little bit of money, I chose recipes that had similar ingredients. So 2 of the meals are going to be using celery, which I would have had to buy celery, so I didn't want it to go to waste. So I'm going to use it over 2 meals. So I'm going to get the veg ready for the chili con carne first. So I normally do 2 medium carrots, but these are a little bit smaller, so I'm going to do 3. And I'm going to be dicing these up. Now with the chili con carne, all the veg is pretty roughly chopped. It doesn't have to be like really small or anything like that. So I like my chili con carne to be a bit more rustic. I'm going to do 2 sticks of celery, and again, just roughly chop it up. And finally 2 red capsicums, again, roughly chopped. Other meals that I like to cook for postpartum time is definitely a big versatile like ragu type thing, so that I can use it in like pastas, or I can put it in like a lasagna, something like that. All of this is going to go in together, so I'm just going to put it all in one big bowl together. That's all prepped for the chili con carne. I'm going to chop up 2 red capsicum for the Mexican beef rice. So that's for the Mexican beef rice that I'll assemble later. I'm just going to prep it while I'm doing all the veg together. And the last one is 2 red capsicum for the Nando's chicken and rice. Other things that I have ready to go in the freezer is just some really easy meat that David can cook on the barbecue in those early days. And then we can get like a salad kit or just steam some vegetables or something like that. We keep it quite basic. It's okay to, you know, have those type of meals. Something nice and easy. The kids love, you know, meat on the barbecue. So that's always a good option. And if I feel up for it, or if David feels up for it, we can even roast some potatoes, do mashed potatoes. That's not something I like to prep in advance, but depending on how it is. Most of my early day postpartum with the other kids have been pretty good, but again, babies are unpredictable, so I'm just kind of getting a little bit organized just in case. So now that I've got all the veg prepped ready to go, I've got all the ingredients on hand, I'm going to be starting the 3 meals now. I'm going to start with the Nando's chicken and rice bake because it starts up on the stove and then it goes into the oven. So while it's cooking in the oven, I can cook the other 2 meals. And while they're cooking away and simmering away, I can be doing the slow cooker dump bags as well. So it's all about time management, layering my time to get as much done in a small amount of time as possible. I just want to mention that this video is sponsored by Spotlight. They stock a beautiful range called Culinary Co By Manu in their stores, and I'll be using their cast iron range to cook my 3 main meals. I'm also using their knives and chopping board throughout the cook and can definitely recommend their range for its quality, functionality, and also looks with these beautiful new colors in the range. If you're in need for good quality kitchen items at affordable prices, definitely check out Culinary Co By Manu at your local Spotlight store. Alright, we're going to start off by adding some seasoning to the chicken. I'm going to add 6 chicken thighs to the bowl. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. We're going to add a tablespoon of Cajun seasoning, a tablespoon of oregano, and a tablespoon of sweet smoked paprika. Just going to coat all the chicken before we start to cook that off. I'm just going to set that aside. For this one, I'm using the shallow cast iron dish, and I'm just going to heat a little bit of oil. We're going to cook the chicken on each side for about 2 to 3 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's not all cooked through, the rest of the cooking will be done in the oven. So just flip all those over and cook on the other side for about 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, we're just going to remove the chicken now. Just set that aside for a moment. And I'm going to add 1 diced onion, 2 small red capsicums diced, and 250 grams of mushrooms. I'm just going to kind of break them up a little bit. I'm just going to cook them for about 2 minutes until they're a little bit softened. Once the veg has softened and it's got all that delicious flavour off the bottom, we're going to add our rice and our Nando sauce. So I've got 1.5 cups of washed basmati rice. I'm going to mix that in that flavour and then add the Nando sauce and the stock. And I'm going to place the chicken back in. You're going to add 1/2 cup of Nando sauce depending on the spice level that you would like. then you're gonna add 3 cups of chicken stock. So I'm just gonna give it a stir to make sure nothing's sticking on the bottom. And then I'm gonna add the chicken back in, and I like to just kind of push it down into the liquid. That's it. I'm gonna turn off the heat. I'm gonna place the lid back on and I'm gonna put it in the oven. I've got the oven set at 180 degrees Celsius, fan forced, and it's gonna cook for 45 minutes. Next, I'm gonna start the chili con carne. So I'm gonna be using the 4.5 litre cast iron casserole pot. All right, I'm gonna start by heating up my cast iron pot. I'm gonna add some olive oil. So I'm gonna add 2 diced onions, all of the chopped veg, 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic, teaspoon of chili powder, teaspoon of cinnamon, and a tablespoon of cumin. So I'm going to cook that for about 5 to 7 minutes until the vegetables have started to soften. It already smells amazing. So it's been cooking now for a couple of minutes and the vegetables have started to soften down. I'm going to add 1 tin of chickpeas and kidney beans that have been drained and washed, 2 tins of diced tomatoes, I'm going to add in 1 tin's worth of water, and I'm going to add in 500 grams of lean beef mince. Just going to break up the mince, and then I'm going to add some salt and pepper. So I've just brought this to a boil. I'm going to place the lid on, and then I'm going to turn the heat down to just a gentle simmer, and I'm going to simmer that away for about half an hour or so. The last one I'm going to make is the turmeric chicken soup. So I'm just starting that while I have the chili simmering away, and I've also got the Nando's rice bake in the oven. So again, I'm going to heat up my pot. I'm just going to add some olive oil, and I'm going to add 1 diced onion. I'm just going to saute that for a minute. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. And I'm going to add 4 stalks of celery and 4 carrots chopped up. I'm going to stir, and I'm going to cook that for a couple of minutes until the vegetables start to soften a little bit. I'm just going to add in 500 grams of chopped up chicken. You can use chicken breast or thigh for this. And I'm just going to cook for 1 to 2 minutes to seal in the chicken, just brown the edges of it. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley, 1 heaped teaspoon of turmeric. You can add minced ginger, but I like to do some freshly grated ginger. About a teaspoon's worth. I'm going to give all of that a stir, and then I'm going to add 1.5 litres of bone broth. I'm going to add about 2/3 of a tin of coconut milk. I'm going to give that a stir, and then I'm going to let that simmer for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add some chopped kale. And I'm just going to add about 2 cups of chopped kale. That only needs to cook for about 5 minutes, and then I will start to cool it down before freezing. The chili is all cooked now, so the vegetables are nice and soft but not mushy. The meat is cooked, so again I'm just going to cool that completely before freezing. And how I serve this one is with some steamed rice and some natural yogurt, some guacamole, and some fresh coriander. So all 3 meals are cooked. I'm going to move on to making the slow cooker dump bags. So I've finished the 3 meals that are cooling down over there before they go in the freezer. And when it comes to the dump bags, I get my Ziploc bag. I just write some instructions on there. So I write the recipe name, and then I write a couple of instructions like how long it needs to cook in the slow cooker, all of those kind of things, and what I need to add. So that's what I'm going to do. I do this first because it's so much easier writing on it like this than writing on it when it's all, you know, squishy with all the food in it. So I'm now going to set these all up. So I'm going to do 2 of each, 2 beef stroganoff, 2 sauteed chicken, and 2 Mexican beef rice. All right, so I'm starting off with the slow cooked Mexican beef rice. To each Ziploc bag, I'm going to add 800 grams of beef strips. I'm going to add some taco seasoning. I'm going to add 1 red capsicum diced each, 1 diced brown onion each, 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic, 600 mils of passata. I'm going to close it up, give it a mix, and then I'm going to get the air out. Just going to open up one corner a little bit, get all the air out. And a tip when freezing is get it as flat as you can so that it doesn't take up too much room in the freezer. You just layer them on top of each other. And I just get out as much air as I can. And that's it. So that's 2 slow cooker dump bags. Got the instructions on it, ready to go into the freezer. We're now doing the beef stroganoff. I'm going to do 800 grams of sliced beef. Just get the cheapest cut that you can get. Casserole beef, gravy beef, chuck steak, whatever you can get that's the cheapest. Because being in a slow cooker, it'll cook so well. 2 brown onions each, thickly sliced. 500 grams of sliced mushroom. 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. 2 tablespoons of sweet smoked paprika. 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. A can of diced tomatoes. And 3 cups of beef stock. Again, I'm just going to seal it up, mix it round, and then I'm going to get all the air out. And that is 2 beef stroganoffs done. And the last one we're going to make is satay chicken. So I'm just going to add the chicken thighs first. We're going to add half a cup of coconut milk. 2.5 tablespoons of red curry paste. 3 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter. 2 tablespoons of sweet soy sauce. 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. And a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to mix that all around. Coat the chicken evenly before again removing the air. So that's the 2 sauté chicken marinades done. I'm just going to make up the sauce in a separate bag and then that's all done. For the sauté chicken sauce, I'm going to do half a cup of coconut milk, 2 cups of coconut cream, half a cup of crunchy peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of sweet soy sauce, and 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons of red curry paste. And I'm just going to mix that up and then seal it up. And that's the 2 satay sauce done, and that is done with my meal prep. So that is my meal prep done. Thank you Spotlight for sponsoring this video and sending me a couple of your cast iron pans as well. I have all my dump bags here ready to go in the freezer. These are just cooling down a little bit more than I'm going to be putting them in a glass container with an airtight lid, and they will stay in the freezer until we're ready to eat them. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this gives you inspiration. Like I said, it's not just for pregnant mamas or postpartum. If you want easy meal prep, then definitely do this. I've managed to make 9 dinners for our family in just over 2 hours, and a lot of these meals will also cover David and I for lunch the next day. So it's definitely worth doing. Slow cooker dumping bags are really, really good. If you like a slow cooker recipe, most of them you can kind of convert into a dump bag as well. There's a couple of ingredients that you'd probably leave out, but hopefully you can look through the recipe and work out where to stop with the dump bag and what to add in later. And then these ones here are no cook on the day. I just have to heat them up and serve them with like rice and some natural yogurt and coriander. So that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to bring you meal prep videos in the future. I will see how many more I can do before baby if I can. Otherwise, I will see you on the other side after I have another newborn.